From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Good morning. Happy Thursday. Welcome back to Montana This Morning. Casey Conlon filling in for Victoria Hill. And of course, you know Ed McIntosh here. Ed, it's not a bad day by any means, just we were a little spoiled over the last two.
That's right. Yeah, we've had the warmer temperatures, and even though we kicked the temperatures down a little bit today, they'll still be above average. And you walk out the door, you can notice that the streets and sidewalks are wet as well across much of the areas. We've had a cold front move through. It's created a quick shower behind it, so it's left us at 39 degrees to get started. That's not that far off an average temperature for a high this time of the year. We've got warmer temperatures out ahead of the front around the Sheridan area, which will start to downshift here during the morning hours. But we've also got some areas you can see from around Jordan northward up in northeastern Montana, rain and snow. In fact, could even have isolated areas of freezing rain and pockets of a little heavier rain to go with it. So slick roads around Malta, Glasgow, Sydney, Glendive area up towards Plentywood today, and then snow, some bands of heavier snow possible in the mountain passes of western Montana. If you're traveling that way, that could be more of a problem by later in the afternoon. Those showers in northeastern Montana look like they'll give it up by then, but occasionally a little pocket of heavier rain there, and then wind will also be a factor down the east slopes of the Rockies, the usual Livingston, Big Timber, Nye areas, somewhat around Harleton, even Billings. We'll see winds 15 to 25 miles an hour today. Temperatures warming up close to 50 degrees by later in the afternoon, as today we observe Rocky and Bullwinkle Day.
Underrated.
Terribly, yeah. It was one of those shows that wasn't on that many years, but yet it continues to, people know what it is and still watch. And
yeah, I think even children today probably understand what we're talking about when we talk about Rocky and Bullwinkle. And I definitely haven't seen the cartoon on in a long time, but they have made, I guess, recent movies that some of them have seen. So.
I don't know if the movie a little rocky, no pun intended.
Not a little
but
Bullwinkle.
It was famous for being, punny.
That's
the
true.
show was.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Ed. We'll check back in a bit.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. We start our news today in Helena, where yesterday Montana's newly elected lawmakers came together in the Capitol to choose their leadership, but the meeting wasn't without controversy. MTN chief political reporter Mike Dennison has more.
As Republicans chose their 2021 legislative leaders Wednesday, the new Senate Majority Leader, Carrie Smith of Billings, expressed the optimism and excitement that many of them felt.
I am so excited about this legislative session. This is the first opportunity many of us have to work with a Republican governor. It's up to us. We hold all the offices. We hold the leadership. We hold the majorities. And so it's up to us now, as the people of Montana have sent us here, to take and get some good work done.
And the new Speaker of the Montana House, Rancher and State Representative Wiley Galt of Martinsdale, said the GOP majorities are ready to carry out their priorities of incoming Republican Governor Greg Gianforte.
We're going to be a united front. We have a Republican governor that we're going to rally behind, and I think the Republican Party is going to move as a bloc this session.
Republicans have a 67-33 majority in the House and a 31-19 majority in the state Senate. Senator Mark Blaisdell of Kalispell was chosen as the Republican president of the Senate, and House Republicans chose Billings Representative Sue Vinton as Majority Leader, the first female Republican House Majority Leader in Montana history. Democrats said they'll try to work with Republicans on many issues, but they weren't happy with how most GOP members completely ignored public health protocols at their Capitol meetings. In both the House and Senate Republican caucuses held on the Senate and House floors, almost no members wore face masks, which are required of the public in the Capitol. And social distancing seemed largely non-existent as GOP members shook hands and frequently spoke with each other, maskless, in close proximity. On Wednesday, Montana saw more than 1,200 new cases of COVID-19 reported, continuing a huge surge in recent weeks of the spread of the coronavirus across the state. House Minority Leader Kim Abbott of Helena said Democrats won't be participating if such actions continue by GOP members at the Capitol.
What I saw on video of the House chambers today was reckless. And we cannot participate in that kind of recklessness.
Representative Galt said he's willing to talk to Abbott and Democrats about their concerns, but that he may not be able to stop GOP members from doing what they choose to do on the floor or perhaps elsewhere.
I can suggest, but we cannot stop anyone for any reason going onto the House floor and doing what the state elected them to do.
Republicans hold all the political cards in driving the agenda at the 2021 session. But now the hard work begins. deciding just what a session will look like in the midst of a pandemic. Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
The session is scheduled to convene in Helena on January 4th. U.S. Senator Steve Daines has announced that he was one of many Montanans participating in Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine trial, and he has tested positive for antibodies, which could mean he's protected if exposed to the virus. Around 100 people were given a shot in Bozeman. Some had placebos, while others got the real thing. Daines said he chose to participate in the trial to help Montanans build confidence and trust in a vaccine. He said he's highly encouraged, but still believes vaccines should not be mandated.
While I do believe that a vaccine is key to getting back to normal, I don't believe in mandating it. I would, however, encourage Montanans to get the vaccine once it's approved, in consultation, of course, with their doctor.
Nationally, the country has hit another grim milestone in its fight as 250,000 Americans have died from the novel coronavirus. Cases and hospitalizations are at record levels, and it's forcing local officials to crack down. CBS's Deborah Alfarone has details.
State and local governments are reimposing measures to slow the spread of the coronavirus.
And I need to ask a little more.
I know this will cause some more harm out there.
The restrictions, mostly on businesses like restaurants, bars, and gyms, come as the total number of Americans who have died from COVID-19 passes 250,000.
The rate of growth we're seeing from the middle of October to now is something we haven't seen since March.
A record 79,000 Americans are currently hospitalized.
We don't ever want to think about what could happen if we run out of beds. But the fact of the matter is we do have to think about that.
Residents in Pittsburgh are being advised to stay home as the number of new cases there hit a record high.
I'm done asking, and today I'm telling you that these are things we must all do to bring down the level of spread.
New York City's positivity rate hit 3%, forcing the nation's largest school district into total remote learning.
So I guess we're ready, but we're not really ready.
Health experts are concerned the holidays will exacerbate the situation.
This will be the first time sort of in this pandemic where we have kind of back-to-back events where people are very used to getting together as family.
Chris Hauser's wife, Brandy, died from COVID-19 in October.
One holiday missed is better than having a holiday without a loved one. I'm not going to have Brandy for Thanksgiving or Christmas.
One coronavirus model projects another 110,000 Americans will die by Inauguration Day. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News.
Health and Human Services Director Alex Azar says he'll work with Joe Biden's presidential transition team when the government says he can. He's been under fire for not giving the president-elect and his team briefings on vaccine trials. He claims he can't do anything until the General Services Administration officially triggers the transition process. President-elect Biden has said he needs to hit the ground running on January 20th. Recounts in Wisconsin's two largest counties will begin tomorrow. It's a response to a filing from the president. President Trump has paid a required $3 million for the recounts, alleging Milwaukee and Dane counties were sites of the worst irregularities. President-elect Biden received more than 577,000 votes between the two counties compared to the president's 213,000. There has been no evidence of illegal counting in either county. Those recounts must be done by December 1st. Big news out of Colstrip. The state of Montana rules contaminated coal ash from now retired units 1 and 2 will be dug up and moved to an environmentally safe area. Environmental groups believe the decision could result in as many as 150 high-paying jobs for years to come. However, because the ruling came from a Bullock appointed Department of Environmental Quality at the end of his term, the final decision could be in the hands of Governor-elect Gianforte's administration. Conservationists say the coal ash is harmful to humans, livestock, and wildlife. The DEQ ruling would give the $285 million bill to the plant's operator, Talon Energy. They have 30 days to appeal the decision. 20% of oil industry workers in eastern Montana and western North Dakota have been laid off. Now the North Dakota Department of Mineral Resources warns even more jobs are at risk with unpredictable oil prices brought on by a worsening pandemic. Nearly 12,000 unemployment claims were filed with the state of North Dakota as of November 7th. Experts say it's directly connected to cutbacks across the Bakken oil fields. Right now, just 14 oil rigs remain active in the region, down 80% from this past January. Billings police are searching for a missing girl they fear may be in danger. 14-year-old Alicia Silva left her home around 5:30 last night, threatening to hurt herself. She's Hispanic and 5 feet 3 inches tall. If you have any information on her whereabouts, you're asked to contact police at 657-8460. A federal judge, meanwhile, is blocking the Trump administration from turning away unaccompanied migrant children at the border. Early in the pandemic, administration officials invoked a public health law that allowed them to remove migrants, including children, apprehended at the border. But yesterday, a judge said they don't have the authority to expel children under the law. The ruling is a win for immigrant and civil rights advocates who have criticized the administration for using public health claims to impose harsh immigration restrictions. In tech news, Apple will be paying out big money over claims it slowed down older iPhones. The settlement is worth $113 million from a lawsuit in Arizona, though it resolves a case brought on by more than 30 states. You may have been eligible for some cash back in Apple's previous settlement over the same issue. That one was worth $500 million. It's unclear if consumers will see anything from this new lawsuit. With ski season just over a week away, crews are working hard at Red Lodge Mountain to have the resort open and ready the day after Thanksgiving. Of course, it will look different in the COVID era. Capacity inside the lodges on the mountain will be reduced by 40%. The main lodge will only be open to people who are purchasing food and drink. All staff will be masked and undergo daily health checks before their shifts. There will be no single rider line, though people will have the option to ride alone. Red Lodge officials are asking for everyone to pitch in to keep the slopes open.
One of the initiatives this year is My Lodge is My Car, and we're definitely encouraging people to come prepared, to get dressed at their car, to go there for breaks, to potentially do meals there, and get warm. Unfortunately, that's just kind of where we're at.
Because the mountain closed early last season, anyone with unused passes can use them until they expire on Christmas Day. Stick with us here on Montana This Morning. Still ahead, a Montana family is brewing up homemade apple cider that has the whole state raving. Currently it's 6:12 and 39 degrees outside. We'll be right back.